Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a UFO sighting in France in 2020. Also have this UFO sighting in Seattle, Washington from 2016. And then here is an old video of a TV program that came out in 1995 called New Tomorrowland, but it was made by Disney, and it was basically a disclosure. Here's Robert Ulrich. He was was on a TV show, hosted this program again that was made by Disney about UFOs and aliens. Let's see. This is a video of some possible structures on Venus. Here's an old video of Robert Dean, who was pretty high in NATO intelligence, talking about what he found out about the UFOs while he was in the military. Let's see, this is a newspaper clipping from 1897 about a man who saw a flying airship. Let's see. Also have this video from Brian Forrester talking about the DNA analysis of these Paracas skulls, the elongated heads, and he mentions that it doesn't have a sagittal suture. So, all the people who want to say this is based on cranial binding, no, cranial binding doesn't eliminate the sagittal suture. Let's see, this is a video about some bones that were found, and they're claiming that it was used to make this ancient structure. And last is this photo of this giant sinkhole that opened up in Turkey. So let's see, let's go to this first video here. Let me go full screen. UFO sighting in France 2020. I guess that's kind of boring, huh? Nothing is really going on. It's all we see. Anyways, link will be in the description. Let's see, this is a UFO over Seattle, Washington. Now, yeah, I'm just going to get to the part where we can finally see it, because the beginning you don't really see it. So let me just back up a little. Right about there. Make a full screen and check this out.
No, there's something floating in the sky that's just sitting there. You can see on my screen.
I see how they float in your eyes.
And, but it's just sitting there. There's two of them.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And whatever, he's having trouble trying to get this thing in focus. I'm sure he's not using the the best high quality camera. But anyways, the link to this will be in the description. Let me go to this next. Oh yeah, this next video was only broadcast in certain cities, and from my understanding, it was never announced. Like I remember growing up, we had this thing called the TV Guide that you could look at, to see what was what was going to be playing on the three channels that you had to choose from. Or there were more, but as far as like that, the national broadcast, there were three channels, and then a handful of local channels. And most of these stations would like turn off after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But anyways, yeah, this came out. Actually, I thought it came out way before 1995. But I think I actually saw this when it came out. Which is why I always thought it was so strange that there were so many people within government, and also in media, who would always deny, the existence. But anyways, let me just play a little bit of this. It's 43 minutes. But anyways, this was made by Disney.
Approach a new millennium. Mankind is in the midst of the most profound event in history. Actual contact with intelligent life from other planets. For nearly 50 years, officials have been documenting routine alien encounters here on Earth. And thousands of people have seen or experienced this alien presence. Yet many others still refuse to acknowledge the obvious evidence all around them. What is it like to be confronted by a creature whose intelligence and skill is far beyond the comprehension of mankind? Would it be enlightening? Would it be an exercise in terror? Or perhaps both? Here in the new Tomorrowland at the Walt Disney World Resort near Orlando, Florida, these concepts are brought to life.
Anyways, this whole video goes into, let me just play a little bit of it where
Didn't understand. Offering their first and only public statement on the UFO phenomenon.
The recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any agency of the United States.
They weren't always called flying saucers. Some reports claim they resembled other household objects. The public was fascinated and anxious to make contact. But our official response remained aggressive, sometimes sparking deadly games of high-speed, high-altitude cat and mouse. National Guard Captain Thomas Mantell played that game.
Anyways, I think, one of the reasons why they have to keep this secret is because I'm pretty sure they think people are going to freak out if we find out that we're not alone on the planet. Anyways, let's go to this next video. Let's see. This is from Of Sound Mind and Body, and he's pointing out what he thinks are these structures on Venus. Check this out.
This cluster of objects are not at all set in a natural formation. They are in a virtual straight line and seem to be the exact same height. This is based on the shadowing of gray that seems to surround them. They also appear to be flat on the top, but that could be due to pixelization. Were they placed this way by an ancient alien race?
And then let's see, he finds, there's this other object here, that it seems to be a square. I mean, I understand this could definitely be the pixelization. This could be, the low quality. Maybe they didn't, the algorithms, whatever, didn't have enough data to prove, to make smooth. But, this is definitely strange. And I think, and then he points out this here. But you know what? I think this here was most likely a digital anomaly. I don't know if this is a cut and paste or maybe, in this part, I'm just not convinced that this is something strange. I think this may have been a mistake in the processing. But, I definitely could be wrong. But anyways, the link to this video will be in the description. Let's, this video here. This is Robert Dean. Let me just let him explain who he is and what he discovered.
I arrived in the summer of '63 and I was assigned to the Operations Division. I was further assigned to what we call SHOC, the War Room, the Supreme Headquarters Operations Center. And at that time I was given a cosmic top secret clearance, which was and still is the highest level of security access that NATO has. When I was assigned to the War Room, I learned that a study had been initiated in 1961, and everybody was talking about it. They were gossiping about it. And the subject was UFOs, and that intrigued me a bit. When that study was concluded in 1964 and it was published, and I was still working in the war room at that time, I had access to this document. I had a chance to read it. And having been exposed to it, I must tell you honestly that my life has never, ever quite been the same. Because I read firsthand reports, verifiable NATO military material that indicated that the UFOs were not only real, but they represented something far beyond anything I had ever imagined before. When the study was concluded in '64, they concluded that there were 4 different groups apparently coming and visiting us. Out of those 4 different groups, one group looked exactly like we do, so much so that they could sit beside you in a restaurant or in an airplane or in a theater, and you'd never know. And that particular point bothered the military guys a lot. The point being that some of these people from somewhere could be walking up and down the corridors of Shape headquarters.
Anyways, that's all I want to play of this. Definitely, I'll leave the link in the description so you can finish hearing what he has to say. Let me go on to this next clip here. Yeah, this is a clipping from 1897 about a man who met with occupants of flying airships. Let's see. The airship discovered in southwest Missouri, what Hopkins says he saw. He is an elderly Christian gentleman, and his friends say he is perfectly reliable. In the massive evidence which has reached the Post-Dispatch concerning the existence of an airship that is said to be floating over the Central West, the most astonishing is that furnished by Mr. W.H. Hopkins, General Traveling Agent for the Hartford Steam Boiler Inspection and Insurance Company, Mr. Hopkins writes the Post-Dispatch that on Friday he saw the airship a few miles away from Springfield, Missouri. Not only did he see the craft, but he saw the aerial navigators and conversed with them. The letter is not a hoax. It is in Mr. Hopkins' handwriting, so those employed at the headquarters of the Hartford Company, 517 Security Building, AV or whatever. It was also identified by his wife, who lives at 5028 Minerva Avenue. Mr. Hopkins is 50 years of age and is well known in the West End. He is a prominent church member, and everybody spoken to vouchers for his veracity. The letter is here given. To the editors of the Post-Dispatch, till yesterday I had supposed the numerous reports of the appearance of a mysterious airship in the different parts of the country, in many instances widely separated at nearly the same hour, were but the results of very vivid imaginations. I thought the first report of an airship was started by some Munchausen's of the press to gratify some mischievous whim, and to see how many imaginative people would fall in line and claim, honestly of course, that they had seen it also. My impression was strengthened by my own experience a few days ago when in Kansas City a friend and myself thought we saw a bright light in the heavens, which frequently disappeared and then reappeared again, but which we afterwards found was the evening star, which was intensely bright, but which was occasionally obscured by light clouds of steam which were not visible to us in the darkness. But after my adventure of yesterday, my doubts of the reality of the airship have been dispelled. I was wandering through hills east of Springfield, Missouri, and coming to the brow of a hill overlooking a small clearing in the valley a short distance below me, I saw a sight that rooted me to the spot with amazement for some time. I could not believe my eyes at first, and shook myself to see if I was not dreaming. There in the clearing rested a vessel similar in outline to the airship shown in the Post-Dispatch a few days ago and said to have been taken in Illinois. You see, so other people did see it, and he's just basically confirming what others saw. But anyways, I don't want to continue reading too much of this. I want to go on and finish showing you the rest of these clips. But anyways, the link to this will be in the description. Let me go to this Brian Forrester clip. Yeah, so now here he is talking about, one of these Paracas skulls. And, I know there are still people who want to say that this is all a result of cranial binding. Now, no doubt cranial binding did occur. But obviously the people were trying to emulate these people who they saw as leaders, or who were leaders. But anyways, check out what he says here.
This is one of the Paracas elongated skulls. This is one that we believe is natural in shape. And as I turn it, you will see the complexity of the design. See all that amazing curvature, and basically there's a depression here where the two hemispheres would be. The eye sockets are very large, and there is a lack of a sagittal suture here. So the results that we got, 4 of the elongated skulls were of haplogroup B, which relates to the fact that there was Native American ancestry involved, but the other ones were not. And the most common haplogroups that showed up were U2E and also H, H1A, and H2.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means. But anyways, the link to this will be in the description. Definitely go to his page to check out the rest of this video. Let me go to this video here. Yeah, now they found some bones. Let me see if I can show you, or get to the point where they show you the photo of what it looked like. Wait, here, let's see. Right here. Check this out.
A 5,000-year-old ice age structure made from the bones of 60 woolly mammoths has been unearthed in Russia. This is not the first mammoth house found in Russia, but it is the oldest and largest. Since 2014, a team of scientists has been excavating the 40-foot wide circular bones at a Paleolithic site about 300 miles south of Moscow. The structure includes several walls, fire pits, and areas for butchering. As early as the 1960s and 70s, researchers found a similar smaller structure at the site and named it Kostenki 11. The site is located around 310 miles south of Moscow and is now home to a museum. In 2014, they found evidence of the structure at the site and began excavation in 2015, which took 3 years. These mammoth bone structures, dating to the Ice Age, have been found across Eastern Europe. But until now, the oldest ones found were dated to 22,000 years ago. Based on previous discoveries, researchers believe they were constructed by Paleolithic people to serve as houses, providing refuge during harsh winters. According to the study, the bones formed a continuous circle with no obvious entrance. The wall of the 30-foot building was constructed using a combination of 51 lower jaws and 64 individual mammoth skulls. Inside the circle, the researchers also found the first evidence that wood was burned inside it. But there are no signs of long-term habitation inside the structure. They believe it was not a wintertime refuge, which led them to rethink the purpose of these huge, time-consuming structures.
Oh, look at that. I wonder if this is actually real, if this is just a recreation here. But anyways, the link to this will be in the description. Let me go to this last photo here. This is just, yeah, check this out. A giant sinkhole opens up in Turkey. And, these things have been happening a lot all over the planet. I think it's because the magnetic poles are getting ready to flip, or yeah, it's already started for sure. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.